Hello.
Good morning. If we have a picture, there we go.
Oh,
Okay.
we're a couple minutes late because we were doing our usual bantering
That's
beforehand.
right.
Oh
That's
crap.
right. Back and forth, back and forth.
That's right. I swear time's been like in warp this morning. I go from like, I've got an hour and a half to holy crap.
Yeah, I'm late. Exactly. That's been my morning too.
I'm
Yep.
going to blame the allergies.
So, so how are we doing? We still have room on Zoom on Monday, the 18th, correct?
We do. We do.
Yeah. Okay.
If anybody wants to find out if you have earthbound spirits or a portal or um, what else? Negative energy or
Negative energy, anything like that, definitely come on Zoom.
hmm
Let's see what's going on.
because you can't tell them over our YouTube chats here. Thank you, Amy. The M&M fix.
There you go.
Let's see. Oh, and everybody was loving your pets one. But yeah, join us this coming Monday on the 18th. Starts at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. So if you are out of the Eastern Standard Time, please make sure you adjust accordingly because we start at our 7:30. Um, Not California's 7:30.
Right, right, right. Exactly right.
Let's see. Oh, everybody's so nice. Let's
Is
see.
this the week the kids are off because of Easter on Sunday?
You know what? I don't know because like when Rune was still in school, like they didn't even do a whole week. They would just get like the Friday and the Monday or something. Like they
Right.
don't do the whole week anymore, at least not
And
around.
I was at someplace a couple weeks ago, and they said they were on spring break then. So they do things so different now.
Yeah. Oh, Rosie says, "Good morning, ladies. My daughter and I enjoyed your Zoom meeting on Friday."
Oh, good.
Ready to listen to Miss Sassy Pants. I might be today. I mean, I'm waiting for the allergy meds to kick in.
Morning, morning, Margie.
So, what's your 5:30 video today on Marianne?
It just regular letters that came in. Um,
Yours are never just regular. Yours are never like, "Oh, haven't seen you in forever. My
no,
garden's kind of
that's
struggling."
right. No, that's not that. That's regular. They're regular. My regular letters. Let's put it that way.
Hmm.
So one man is congratulating me for not putting down religion, and it's like, oh, good. We'll read his letter. This will be interesting. So it's just a little. I'm going to try in the next couple of Friday or next couple of Wednesdays doing nothing but ghost pictures
We
on
can do
the
that.
YouTube. Yeah, I'm going to try. It's just that it's so hard because they don't really show up that well.
You want to hold them up, you mean, to the camera?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that's the
Okay.
problem. Yeah.
Um, if you have a question and you're a new friend joining us, type your question out in the comments. Please don't make it too long because I don't get to see all of it, and there's nothing for me to click on to go. Um, oh, here we go. What happens to your soul when you're earthbound?
Well, it's you are the soul, the earthbound ghost, whatever, the spirit. That's all the same word. It's like I can look at a bowl of fruit and say that's a bowl of fruit and I'm right, but I can also say there's an apple, there's an orange, a banana. I'm right about that too. So it's just one name, and they need human energy to keep going. That's why they usually cause problems in people's houses. And even if they don't cause problems, there's still a real big energy drain on everybody. And this would be a real good week for that because this Saturday, which isn't good the day before Easter, but this Saturday is a full moon. So if you've got anything going on in your house, this is the week you are definitely going to know about it.
Hmm. Unless your house is clear.
Unless your house is clear. Correct.
I wonder what kind of just havoc would have kept going on in the apartment with that old lady. Had we not gotten rid of her? I mean, she was trying to gas the place.
I
So
was going to say, with her, with your luck, the place would have blown up or caught fire or something. So
we don't talk about fires.
right, yeah, oh yeah, that's true. No fires.
That's a
Okay.
bad word around here.
Right.
Let's see. The other Melissa says, I know throwing holy water around is frowned upon, but is using holy water to bless your children in the home or bless yourself still okay?
Yes, because you're using it for that intention to bless a person, not to get rid of a ghost. And actually, that's in one of the letters at 5:30 today too. So, yeah, it's okay if somebody legally ordained or correctly ordained, does it, but not somebody that just gets their divinity paper off of the internet.
Mm. Margie says Tara visited her daughter. She had two ghosts.
Yep. I hope she's good. Tara said that your grandchildren are beautiful. She says she's never saw such a pretty little girl.
Aw. Oh, and our regular friend here, Gossip, love good ghost pictures, videos. So
I'm working on it. Years ago, I had to do when Ghost Whisperer was still playing in that time period. Uh, some guy had called me up, and he books people to speak at college campuses. And so he wanted to know if I'd be interested in doing it. We discussed it and everything. So that one September, October, I went to so many college campuses, you have no idea. And yeah, and so I had really big pictures made of my pictures to show the college students. And yeah, that was very tiring. And I'm glad I tried it once, and that would be it one time. The
Renee.
thing that finished me in Rhode Island, yeah, Rhode Island or Delaware, it was one of those two little states. Two college students came to get me from the airport in a bug.
Little bitty bug.
Yeah, great. And of course, I don't have little clothes, so I have more than one suitcase. That was real good.
This is why we need the touring bus or the touring hearse.
Don't. Good question, Renee. It has no effect on them at all, except so many people are afraid of thunder and lightning that like my mother-in-law, oh my God, she'd go hide in the closet if it thundered and lightning. It was terrible. And I mean, look at the energy that an earthbound ghost would get from somebody like that that's so scared of something like that. If there was any earthbound ghosts around me and I walked in the backyard and saw a snake, that would give them enough energy for 3 weeks. I know, Renee, if you're listening, you have your little pet snakes, and I'm glad they're in your house, not mine.
What if it was like an electrical storm, though? Because I love thunderstorms. And my mom's house, we've talked about my mom's house, you and I, but the only time I've ever seen like actual shadow people it was been in her house, and there was a really just electrical thunderstorm one afternoon making the hairs rise up, and it was around nap time, and Rune was like itty bitty and come on, let's go take a nap. And she's got a fireplace, and on one side you go into the kitchen, the other side's to the bedrooms. And in walking, like I see this thing off to the side, and I stop walking, it looks at me, and I'm like, oh, and my first thought is I have a wee one, and I'm like, get in that room. And I remember leaning back and looking over, and that SOB leaned back and looked back at me. And I'm like, yeah, about that. And
Yeah,
I'm like, you're staying out there, whether or not
right.
that worked.
Yeah.
But, you know, and I'm like, this damn house.
Yeah, your mother's house is something. No, because it's like there's electric plugs everywhere. If that would work, stick your finger in and get the energy from that.
Well,
It's
I just figure
human energy that they need. Now,
thunderstorm because it's so clattery and chaotic, you know.
yeah, but that uprise in surprise that you did when you saw him, he got a little bit of juice off of you too from doing that.
True.
So
True.
yeah, so
That house, I swear. Let's see some more questions. Oh, Karen is going to join us for a book club. So if anybody has gotten your book, there's no fee for the book club. It's just read the book, be ready to discuss. If you're not local, we will put up a Zoom link to be able to join. If you're not in the area, you can send your questions in advance because we're not really going to be able to read your questions out live during because it's just going to be really chaotic, a lot of people. So submit your questions in beforehand, and we'll kind of use those to help get the book club going. But there's no fee. Just
nope, it's for an hour, plenty of parking. Of course, though, like I said last week, with gas, you may want to buddy up instead of driving two cars. They're fun. And if you've read this book that we're talking about for the first one, or that gal and I don't really agree on a whole lot. So, here we
I've
go.
got a copy, and I need to sit and
Yeah,
like.
you need to look at it. Yeah. Oh boy. So,
This will be fun.
yeah, it'll be fun. You bet. So,
uh,
now, are people signing up for it? That's just to get enough chairs set up, correct?
well, yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
much just to know how many chairs and everything. I think there's been a few people that have said like, "Hey, I'm coming," but
Okay.
there's no fee if you use the whole thing to sign up. It's just to let me know.
How many? When we had it at the Borders in Strongsville before they closed, Borders had very few chairs around the whole store. I mean, people were actually bringing them in from the snack bar to sit, which did not make the people in charge very happy. So they started bringing camp chairs and lawn chairs and no chairs this time, folks. Just bring yourself. So,
Yeah, I mean, we might put out a call if all of a sudden I've got like 60 people, you know, saying that they're coming and we still have a few weeks. I might be like, bring a chair
yeah,
because
yeah,
that's already surpassed the amount that I have. But right now we're fine.
we're good.
Yeah. Um, Anthony asks, if someone is reincarnated, do you think the scientific world classify them as a ghost or a reborn spirit walking the earth again? I don't think the scientific community is going to call
They
it
wouldn't
a
have
fungus.
anything to do with it. They could care less.
Mhm.
No, they just put us in that column with the title "nut" on the top. That's where they stick us. So no, don't worry about that.
Yeah, I was going to say they would just roll their eyes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, no.
Um, Margie says, I have to have surgery next week on my jaw. How do I convince my doctor I have to wear my quinseed?
You don't have to convince your doctor about anything. Take your quinseed and tape it to your tummy. Nobody's going to know it's on there. You don't have to say a word. Just wear it.
Sandy says, many say when cardinals appear, past loved ones are near. Do you think that's true?
Again, cardinals, butterflies, different things remind people of their loved ones that die. And people really think that when they show up, that that's them visiting or they're thinking about you. And that's very possible. I said before, there's a couple people in Texas, but think about it's Texas. They don't do cardinals and they don't do butterflies. They do hawks and eagles. When they say an eagle or a hawk, they know that their loved one is around. So it's environmental across the United States what people think works or not.
Well, and then you got to consider the time of year,
Yeah, but not everybody has seasons.
I need to move where where is that constant 70-degree season? Because that's where I need to
Yeah, yeah. But
go.
so where there are no snow or frost or anything like that, there probably are butterflies and,
Mhm.
everything all year long. Well, cardinals are here in the winter.
True. True.
So
Let's see. Bobby says, "Hi, Marianne. I was standing in a checkout line when out of the corner of my eye, a man holding a little girl's hand. When I turned around, only the man was there. I wanted to say something to him, but I didn't want to upset him. Should I have said something?"
he very well could have had a child that he knew that had passed, and just because you saw this child doesn't mean that that child was earthbound. You could have seen a child that had already crossed over.
Hmm.
Again, keep that in mind. I can only see earthbound ones, but some people can only see ones that crossed over. So it's different for everybody. And you're right. I wouldn't have walked up and said anything to him. That's how you get a slap up the side of the head.
Well, and it's that whole, despite what the TV shows say, you know, if especially if that was somebody that he just recently lost, that may not be something he needs to hear in public and
That's right. That's right.
cause, some emotional
Right. And
outbursts.
that's why I'm so shocked with some of these reality TV shows when, when somebody walks up to somebody in Kmart or Walmart and says, your aunt's attached to you. I, that is a lot of nerve to do that. I got to tell you, I think I'm pretty nervy, but those people have way more nerve than I do.
Um, what did the earthbound spirits do all day since they don't sleep?
They go anywhere where they can get energy. They just sit around and wait for you to come home from work. Um, they can buzz off to a mall. They can go swoop through the Grand Canyon if that's what they want to do. They're pure energy. They can go from here to there in a blink. So they use up the day pretty well.
Hmm. Oh, and Margie, there's a lot of people sending you good vibes and energy for your surgery. There we go.
Yes. We need to
I
know
can't.
the date so we can send you some white light.
Uh, let's see. Do do do. A lot of talking here. Oh, Brooke said I need to go to Florida, but wouldn't recommend it. There's a lot of crazy stuff that happens in Florida.
Yeah, no,
It might be a little dangerous.
nope.
It's funny because yesterday it was only what, like 65 or so, and me and the heat don't get along. No sweat glands, bad thing. Heat stroke out real quick. And just sitting in my car real quick, eating a sandwich on lunch, going, oh, and had the windows down. But by the time I was done eating, because I'm not acclimated yet to that change, for the rest of the day, I'm like, I can't cool off. And I'm like, this is why
Jeez.
I wouldn't be able to live in Tucson all year. I'd have to come
Too
back.
hot.
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, it's getting harder as I'm getting older to like acclimate.
Well, that's why the people that, what do they call them, that fly down to
The
Florida.
strippers.
Yeah, exactly. They come back up here for the summer because the summers down there are way too hot.
Yeah. And I'm like,
My
oh,
sister lives down there, and she's been complaining that it's been like 90 degrees. It's unmerciful down there. It's way, but there's no such thing as climate change. Heaven forbid.
right. Right.
Not happening.
So Margie's surgery is April 21st. So
Great.
coming
Thank
up.
you. We'll do something about that for you.
um, so Eugene says or asked, can someone like Eugene open up the ability to see spirits?
I think everybody has some ability for that. Call it a gut instinct, call it a shiver down your back if you're standing somewhere and all of a sudden you get this vibe about something. So, but read, and there are places like the Goddess Elite that have classes. I don't know what you have available or if they have to be in the store, Melissa, or can you do them on, do you do Zoom? I don't know, but anybody in your area that has a good metaphysical shop we'll have people in there that can do things like that.
Yeah, I mean, we have like a development circle. That's a couple times a month. It's $5 each time. We just went back to doing in person, but we are looking at doing a hybrid where in person and Zoom because we've kind of collected, some new friends for the circle who are out of state, and so we're trying to figure out how to keep everybody involved effectively because a lot of the activities for these groups or meetings is doing things like signing your name on a piece of paper and then everybody folds them up, they go in baskets and you pick one and then you trace that name, you try to feel the energy or read what you can off about that person. So like, how do you do that over Zoom? Well, that's kind of hard to do. So how do you you know come up with different activities, different ways, so everybody's still experiencing different ways of
Yeah, but you have to understand too, when there's a group like that, maybe the question isn't on your mind at that particular time, but somebody else in the group is going to ask a question. It's like, yeah, I've always wanted to know that. It's
Mhm.
a matter of collective minds being together and putting the energy out there and learning from each other. So
Mhm.
even if you can't trace the name on Zoom, you can still get benefits from the other, involvement in the group.
Right, right. So, we're putting it together, piecing it together this past Tuesday, not last night, the Tuesday before. Was the first time of doing both. And seems like everybody had a good time. Like Christine, who was here, she's like, I do the development circle and love it.
There you go.
So we've had people that have been coming for years and people that are, seasoned readers who come just to keep a connection with people, like minded friends, and different ways of doing things. So, but a lot of people go from a very beginning, like what's even a spirit guide, to now they're clairaudient, they're clairsent, or they don't become, they just learn to work with that.
Well, it's like I can do a card layout, I can do the runes, I can do a little astrology. I have a little bit of all of that stuff, but
Mhm.
that's not what I do. That's not what I'm good at. And that's what you
Right.
have to learn. Learn a little bit about it all, and then just pick one that you really feel closest to,
Yeah.
because nobody is going to be able to do everything. And if somebody tells you they can, run.
Right. Um, let's see. Do. We've got more friends coming in. Hello, everybody. Dawn says heading to Waverly Hill for an overnight tour. What ghost equipment do you recommend, and do I need a quince seed?
The only thing you need is your quince seed. I have no idea what ghost equipment is. I wouldn't have a clue what that is because I don't use anything.
Because
My
you don't need
eyeball, yeah. So that was it. So I don't know what you would need. People brought stuff to the Carousel Museum when we did that,
to. Mm-hmm.
cameras and iPods or
And
uh, what's the light on the pod? What's that called? I can't.
that.
Tripod. People with tripods and people got great pictures there. So, but yeah, I mean, whatever. I guess whatever works for you. I don't know.
Um,
My only suggestion for that is while it's still available, because there's going to be ending here directly. I always said the pictures were way better on film than digital.
mm,
Now, orbs are really good being caught on digital more than on film, but for an earthbound spirit, it seems that film works better. Fast film, black and white. But like I said, that's being phased out. I don't know how long film, will be around. No, crystals cannot help keep a ghost away. And your dog is so cute.
right.
No, she's got her Easter bonnet on. No, no, absolutely not.
I mean, if you think about it, they come out of the ground. We're all walking on it. So are the earthbounds. They're not avoiding certain apartments or certain houses because there might be a pocket of tourmaline there.
Right. Yeah, doesn't happen.
Um,
As a matter of fact, I think a lot of crystals make people feel better. They just like to have them with them. It's like a security blanket. And so if it makes you feel good, if it makes you happy to carry one, crystals are good for a lot of things, but not for getting rid of ghosts.
Yeah, not gonna work.
Nope.
Um, do. James says, can an earthbound spirit get to the point where it's so low on energy it may be trapped or unable to move quickly from one place to another?
That's actually what happens, James, when you smudge. It makes them very lethargic, where they sort of stand like they're in a broom closet somewhere. They don't do anything until it's getting close to the 12th, the 13th day after smudging, when they start getting their energy back and go out and look for more. So yeah, that's pretty much exactly what a smudge stick will do.
But do they ever disappear if they don't get any?
No, no, they'll just be standing in a broom closet somewhere, or leave and go to the neighbor's house.
Let's see.
Oh, I missed that one.
So somebody asked, and I'm looking for the question to put up, but I can't find it. They want to know why you're having a hard time with cell phones, computers, things like that. Why can't you touch them? Is it your aura? Is it?
I don't know why I can't. They just, everybody, like with cell phones. Oh, you're doing something wrong, and it's like, no, I'm not. You I touch something for 15 seconds and it's dead. I don't know. Some people can't wear gold or sterling because it turns green on them. Uh, I don't know. I could never understand. For those of you that are more in my age period, you remember Kirby vacuum cleaners. When
Mm.
we first got married 54 years ago, we went to the Home and Garden Show. And what did I know? I was 20 years old. I signed up for anything that was for free or a drawing. Oh my God. You can't believe, from knives to encyclopedias, which they don't even make anymore, I don't think, to vacuum cleaners. And the Kirby guy came out and threw dirt all over my carpet, and it vacuumed up. I killed a Kirby vacuum cleaner in 3 months.
Those are
And
expensive. Or they were expensive vacuum
you
cleaners.
can't kill them. And they didn't know what was wrong. Then they kept telling me, well, the factory. So they brought me a new one. That one only lasted 2 months.
Oh no!
Irons.
Ted drives all the fancy cars.
That's right. I can't. No. So unfortunately, Ted does all the vacuuming. Ironing, I can go through. Right now in the basement, there's the iron I'm using, and there's two brand new ones on the shelf. Because after sometimes 7 weeks, after 2 months, 2.5 months, it dies. Anything that I hold like that right there, I don't. I'm just weird. I just have weird energy.
um, that would be a cool ability of like, I can't do that kind of work because I can't. That
Well,
negates.
the looks you can't believe. We went. Somebody had vacuum cleaners on sale, and another one broke. So we went to the store to get a vacuum cleaner, and the one that I wanted to look at was way high. So the lady came over and got that big ladder and got up there and brought it down and took it out of the box, and she reached over and she handed it to me. I said, "No, hand it to him. I don't vacuum." And the look on her face was, "How did you find him?" Lucky. So what can I say?
Necessity.
Right. You want to go on the floor, you better start vacuuming.
Let's see. Do I know of any good shops in Toledo? I honestly don't, and not because I can't say that there's any good or not good. I've only been through Toledo driving through. Like, I have not spent time in Toledo. I have not walked around. So I honestly can't say, to be fair. I'm sure there is. I would do some Google searching, and when you find a few, go to their Facebook store page, read their comments, read their reviews, see how people are interacting with them. Google reviews can be fishy because in any community, you always have your petty people, and sometimes fans of one will go to another and be snarky, and so that's where it gets kind of wonky. But if you go into like their active streams and read their reviews and listen to what people are saying that you can tell are real good um, regulars, and if they don't, well, that'll tell you something. So you got to read between the lines in some of the reviews. Let's see. Oh, she's like, we vacuumed every week for 40 years with a Kirby.
Yeah, I know. I mean, if you go to a garage, if you go to Goodwill, they still sell Kirby's there for like $60 at Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, unless I own it, they don't die.
Yeah, see, everybody is like, wonderful reason why you shouldn't clean.
Yeah, no.
Pam asks, do you have any idea if at the end of time, is there any way that Earthbounds will be redeemed?
Well, I don't know, for those people who are very into the Bible and the end of times, everything that's happening now with weather and war, and we're going to have famine here pretty soon because of the Ukraine. Everybody that has an idea is thinking this way. Is this the end? I don't think it's going to end tomorrow, but sometimes I think God is just really aggravated with the way the world goes. And I don't know. I'm not a psychic. I don't know what's going to happen. But when the end comes, everybody will be judged, earthbound ones that are alive, and everything else. So I'm imagining it'll all work out somehow.
Nadia says, amazing. Your energy field is too strong. Have you ever gotten Reiki or a chakra tuning?
I am second degree Reiki, so is Ted. And we don't do it for anybody except each other if it's needed. Ted's really good at it. And, but he even, never mind. But no, not even going to go there. Yeah, no, Reiki, and it's pure energy. It works.
Have you ever seen a ghost of a dinosaur yet?
Oh my gosh, no. Up to that, Melissa.
That wasn't me, that was Amanda.
Oh, I know, but did you put Amanda up to that?
No.
Okay.
No.
No, I have never seen a ghost dinosaur, ever.
Let's see.
I'll tell you what I did see on the lot, though. The ghost of the ape that they used to create King Kong for the movie. They had to use a real ape to get it accurate. I mean, of course, they made him huge, but they still needed an ape. And I don't know why, but that ape never crossed over. And animals go into the light too. And I did see that. It was pretty calm, but it was running all over that studio lot. Let me tell you, it was so weird.
I wonder if people are like, why do I keep getting dents in my car?
Right.
Why?
My bananas are missing again. Where are they?
Right.
No, they don't eat. They don't eat. So.
Hey, Lewis. Have you ever seen the spirit of a cave woman or a caveman? Neanderthal.
Yeah, not that far back. Nope. I've seen spirits from for sure the 15th century. Not a lot. I start seeing a lot of them from the 18th century up.
I kind of wonder when I think about like your time limit, like beforehand, like, is it because more people got to be more religious? So they were crossing more, or they were more religious then, so they crossed more, or was it because they weren't so tied up in religion and worried about what was on the other side that they just went, you
And I
know?
think it's such a natural progression. You die, you go to the light, you do whatever you're supposed to do, and but everybody questions everything now.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Let's face it, we all know somebody that if you look at the sky and say it's blue, they're going to say no, it's green, and they know they're right. So we all know somebody like that. And
Right.
it's like if you don't want your daughter to date that boy, don't tell him you don't like him because she'll marry him. So don't do that.
Like, hey, Tara, if you're listening, did your mom try that tactic?
Yeah,
How did
just
that go?
yeah. She's on a meeting this morning, so I know she's not on here. Yeah, no, no. Mm-mm.
Okay, now what about a Bigfoot? Have you seen a ghost of a Bigfoot?
No, but I really think there's something to that, though. I really think that that's a possibility. But maybe that's something that's left over from cave time. I mean, how do you not know?
Um, let's see. Eugene wants to know how long it took you to get comfortable with being able to see the spirits.
Grandma started taking me to funerals when I was 4. I saw him when I was 2.5. I thought everybody could do it. I'm still not afraid. I'm afraid of some live people I go by, but no ghosts.
Hmm. Uh, oh, good question. And this could go right into because you did a lot of fostering. Xander says, hi, Marianne and Melissa. We're about to welcome an older child into our family after a long adoption process. The child has explained respiratory issues. Do you think many foster children, particularly those with behavior and health issues, have earthbound spirits attached to them? If so, what can we do? Would a Quincy charm help them?
If your house is clear and there's nothing there, then there will be no ghosts bother your child. From being foster parents for 15, 16 years, most of the kids that come are just have so much negative energy around them, not on them. Children cannot have negative energy or get a curse on them until they turn 18. But it's like they're living with their biological parents who smoke. Now, the child doesn't smoke, but yet they can't breathe from the smoke in the house. It would be the same thing. The parents are cursed, and that energy is through the house, so it's affecting the children even though it's not on them. I don't really recommend charms for children. They're going to play with them. They're going to want to know what they are. They're going to stick them up their nose. You don't, they really don't need them. The only time that I recommend seeds for kids is if it's a divorce thing and you get the kids 3 days, the other one gets them 4 days, then you get them 4 days and they get them 3 days. If the kids are throwing back and forth from one, parent to the other, we can clear the house that the parent called me from, but there's nothing
Mhm.
I can do about the second house. So that's the only time, but I would definitely say just getting the child out of that situation is you've done a really good thing. So good for you.
Um, let's see. Why are some spirits able to scratch or leave red marks on people and others don't or can't?
Because this would be the week for that, because of the big full moon on Saturday. The full moon has gives earthbound spirits more energy for some reason. I don't know why, just like the new moon does. Which, by the way, the new moon at the end of this month is also an eclipse. So that's another, this is a little hot month here. So, but they can pull hair, they can scratch you, they can leave black and blue marks on you. They can't kill you, physically kill you, but yeah, they absolutely can do that if they have enough energy.
Melanie wants to know if she should wear her seat going to estate sales.
Was just this so you could hear me say yes? Come on.
And Adam and Margie are both like, all the time. Just wear it all the time.
Yeah, of course. I mean, why would you even take it off? I
Um,
just got a call from somebody that came in from his grandmother's funeral from Europe, and his quinceañera is in his tooth, so he never has to worry about it. But that's where a lot of ball players have their quinceañera in their tooth because they couldn't keep a charm on them when they played ball for whatever reason. I don't know.
Lewis says he was reading Ghost Speak, and you talked about a really gorgeous spirit you saw in New York townhouse with your grandma. He wants to know if you ever found her again or saw her again, was able to cross her over.
I was 7 years old, and she was the first pretty young spirit I had ever seen. When grandma took me to funerals, they were all these paisans and gumas and gumpas that old and you know, but she was so pretty, and I never saw her again. So I just hope she did find a way to cross over because I didn't know how to help her when I was 7 years old.
Hmm. Well, there's even more people like Sandy and Adam and Karen and Lori, and they're all like, we keep them on.
Yeah, don't take them off.
I'll say mine stays on. It's always under my shirt because I have multiple chains, but it's always on. Let's see.
Ted's is in his tooth.
Do. Let's see. Making sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, okay. So Lewis, harkening back to like the whole like time period, like the time that you haven't seen spirits before, and he was, throwing out the theory that maybe because America is a younger country than over in Europe, but then there should be native.
Right. And I have seen Native Americans and spirits, but gosh, from their clothes, could be any century.
Right.
How,
Right.
how do you know?
So now we need to take Lewis up on the offer and go to Europe and see if we can find older spirits for you. um,
Surprisingly, I did see a lot of older spirits in Caribbean islands, a lot of natives
hmm.
there. But yeah, I can't think. Canada had some old ones, Mexico had some old ones. Yeah.
So there was the question, and again, I can't find it. I read it, but now I can't find it. Going back to the whole scratching people and how the TV shows will say, oh, everybody's getting scratched, it's 3, and they always claim it's a demon. Like, is that really an Earthbound being kind of a jerk? And like, what's really going on with those 3 scratches from the demons and on TV shows?
It's entertainment. That's what that is. Again, even Ghost Whisperer, there was only 4 or 5 lines each week that were true. They exaggerated everything because it's entertainment. It wasn't a documentary.
Amanda says she felt like there was more ghosts in Edinburgh than in London.
And I believe that. And don't forget, in Europe, old Europe with the palaces, they make a lot of money on their ghosts over there. I mean, you could pay a lot of money to go spend a Saturday night in one of the rooms in the hotel and listen to the ghost walk up and down the hallways rattling their chains. So they don't want their ghosts to go. I said once before, some travel agency tried to start something up so a bunch of us could go over and do ghost tours and everything. And when the people that owned the palaces or the properties knew who I was and what I did, they canceled everything. They were afraid I was
taking their money away.
they were afraid I was going to make the ghost leave. That's exactly right.
Well, do Earthbounds walk or do they float?
They walk. A lot of times they're maybe an inch or 2 off the ground, which unless you're really looking, it's hard to tell. I mean, nobody watches somebody's feet when they're walking. So Unless you're looking at their shoes, that's different. Where'd you get those, cutie?
Lori's a fan if we do a Euro trip and
Oh, here we go. Great. The Caribbean, yeah. That
uh,
was fun. That was fun. It wasn't fun when the party I was at and Castro showed up. That
mm,
wasn't so much fun, but it was interesting.
let's see. Um, oh, well, thank you, Eugene. I appreciate our Wednesday morning chats. Um, apparently, Chicago is really, really haunted too, and I wouldn't doubt it. All the
Oh my
history.
gosh, I've done so much work in Chicago. Oh, you have no idea how much work I. Almost every hotel in Chicago. I mean, there's a lot of ghosts in hotels and motels anyway, but Chicago takes it to a new level. Their hotels are full there.
Hmm. Oh, and see, Susan. Nope, not Susan. Where is it? Goth. Yeah, we kind of talked about this before when you were like talking about the Airbnb or a bed and breakfast that was in Columbus, I think, where they wanted to keep the ghost there, and I think it was a lady, and how we all talked like, yeah, how selfish is it to.
Well, that happened right here in Medina. There's a couple B&Bs down there. And of course, October, because it's Halloween, TV stations always wanted to do something to do on for Halloween, and they found this B and bed that was supposed to be haunted. That lady absolutely warned me that she skinned me alive if I released any of her ghosts. And I said, okay, I'll let you keep your ghost. I won't get rid of them. And on my way out, I said, hey, you guys, anybody that wants to go? The funeral home is right down the street. Just go when there's a viewing. I did not make the light for them or make them go.
You
Three
just made
weeks
an option.
later, 3 weeks later, she called me. She said, you got rid of my ghosts. I said, I did not. And I wasn't lying. I did not.
Nope, you just gave them another option.
That's right. I did not. Truthfully, I never made the white light in that place.
Lewis says in the Ghost Whisperer, blah, I speak English. Melinda always had these dramatic visions and dreams. Does that happen to you?
No entertainment. I got to tell you, Lewis, if half of the stuff that happened to Jennifer Love Hewitt would happen to me in real life, I'd have a heart attack. Of course not. Of course,
Uh,
and I don't dress how she dressed either. So, all right then.
so I am living for sneaky, shady Marianne. Getting rid
You don't hold your breath, you'll die.
of everybody's backing up. Uh,
I used to say when we had to do interviews together, these magazine shows back then, the talking heads, they'd put us on, ask questions and love was always so sweet. Oh, I love Marianne, blah, 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 blah. And I'd always say, and if it happened to me, I'd have a heart attack. But the guy said, so you two really aren't alike. And I laughed because I said, yeah, there's only two things we have in common. And of course, everybody looks at Love's chest when that's said. And I go, no, 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 no. We both have brown eyes. That's it. Keep it up. Keep it up. Don't look down.
Here, goofball.
This is it. Right.
Christine says, do you think these TV shows end up getting people into trouble trying to mimic what they are doing on the shows? I saw someone trying to scry in a mirror and was thinking, don't do that.
You are 100% correct. That's exactly what some of these shows are doing. And I really believe that's why there are so many Ghostbusters out there now. They see these reality TV shows and, oh, I can do that. And knock yourself out. You just don't know what you're bringing home with you.
Susan asks, if spirit uses cardinals or butterflies, do they ever appear as other animals?
I think so. I think that, and again, spirits don't become a cardinal or become a butterfly. But when they show up, It's to remind you of that spirit. They don't become that spirit or that animal. Oh boy.
I'm going to get to Sam's question in a minute, but because they were talking about like those vivid dreams Melinda would have where the ghost came to her and he goes, it's amazing how good her skin was after all those stressful and sleep deprived days.
And you had no idea after every scene, the 3 or 4 people that were around her every time, powdering hair, eyes, straightening her dress. Yeah, everybody would look like that if we had 3 people with us every time.
No, I would be a hot mess because I'm like, why are you constantly here? Go away. Don't touch me.
No, not if you're a movie actress. You don't do that at all.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
welcome it and see. It's like, you know, I used to hate when I'd have to sit in the makeup chair. It's like, you want me to do what? How do I look down like that? Do that with my eye so you can put mascara on my eyelashes. And I put my foot down. I never had false eyelashes put on. No, it's like I would blink and it would fall off and look like a caterpillar. So it's like, no.
Sandy says people call the police so often for a haunted hotel my husband worked at. They were obligated to respond, but after a while, they too believed in ghosts and would just sit in the lot to watch.
That actually happened with the law enforcement agency in a town outside of Cleveland, and the same thing happened with them. The police actually set cameras up before it was popular. This was like 30 years ago. And they set cameras outside and they would look at them. They could record sound too. They could hear the pounding. They never saw anybody. And because of that I was one of the first people, still am, one of the first people this particular town calls if they've got a house with a lot of problems.
Mm.
Yep.
So, I'm not sure if it's supposed to be tea or tay. Maybe there's an egu on it. Our friend here purchased protective oils from a local shop in El Paso. I was told to apply them as needed in pulse points on my body, wondering if they can lose efficacy after a while.
I don't know what that is, Melissa. Do you know?
So depending on the oil and what the carrier oil is whether or not it's going to lose potency. And that's where even some of the ones there are certain lines that I carry just because people are so used to seeing them and they like them. But to me, when I'm sniffing all of them, I'm like, they all smell the same. They're just colored differently. And then there's other brands that are more expensive that you can clearly tell a difference and that they're made more, I guess, appropriately. So depending on the oil, how it's made, and the carrier oil, if it's using
coconut oil, it'll go dead fast.
Yeah. Fractionated coconut oil is one of the ones that'll last longer, but it too has a shelf life. So if this is a hand blended oil that shop made, they should be telling you when they created it and the shelf life on it. If it's one of these little bitty bottles that have, these gold foil labels, those of you might know who I'm talking about. Those are probably going to last forever because I don't think there's anything essential in that bottle. And a lot of these oils too, it comes down to your intention, what you're doing. I tell a lot of people, when you take that bottle home, energize it, bless it, whatever you want to call it, for what the work that oil is supposed to do for you. But it kind of goes.
And let's face it, sometimes using any of that type of thing is just to get you to focus on what you want. It's not doing it. It's helping you focus. It's like when I remove a curse off of somebody, I light a candle. I don't need I don't need a lit candle there, but it's for them to focus on the flame while I'm doing it.
Right. Well, that's what a lot of these ceremonies and rituals, even in organized religion, is to get you in a mindset to pay attention, to receive whatever that is. So,
and how many, and I'll just, because that's what I'm familiar with, a Catholic Mass. If you sit there and watch a Mass everything that that priest is doing up there. And if it's a special mass like at Easter time where, it's all ceremony. It's
Mm.
all ceremony. That's all that is.
Yeah. So, I mean, technically, you could go get a little bit of olive oil, stick it in a little bitty, what do you call those condiment Tupperware things, and bless it like this is my protection oil.
That's right.
That's
That's
what it is
exactly
now.
right.
Um,
And I reminded people this time last week, for those of you that got blessed palms this past Palm Sunday, that's perfect. The palms you're not going to stick over your door or make a braid out of, whatever you do with them. The ones you're not going to use are the ones from last year. Wipe out a pan with some holy water so that it's just a nice pure pan. Burn the old palm leaves in that pan. The ash from that can be used for curse removal, a house. That is the actual ash that they use the following year on Ash Wednesday. Any of you can do that have had palms, that got palms. When I go to, well, I don't do it anymore, but when I used to go to garage sales, every time grandma died or grandma's always had a drawer in the hutch full of palm leaves. People, I don't know if people are superstitious, afraid, but they're not going to throw out palm leaves. They don't do that. So they're going to put them in a bag and sell them for a nickel. Boy, I scarf up on all those
mm,
because they can all be burned down. Just like anytime, because I think that's terrible. Anytime I see a rosary at a garage sale, a flea market, I always buy a rosary because I think that's terrible to sell them like that. But that's me.
mhm. Let's see. People were chuckling. Lewis had said, "How are you going to see the ghost through all of those fake eyelashes anyway?"
That's right. I couldn't do it.
Um, Amy says her dream bag just up and disappeared from the pillowcase.
If you took the seed out of it, then an earthbound spirit could move it. If you didn't take the quince seed out of it, there's a good chance you may have little folk because they like to hide them. And the seeds don't affect them at all.
Let's see. And it's funny, Jordan asked if I know anybody that could help him find mother's lost string, put it somewhere and cannot find it. Maybe my mother moved it. And somebody immediately chimed in with St. Anthony.
Tony, look around. Something's lost and must be found, and you will find it.
Mm-hmm.
It works.
I always love that meme, and one of these days I'm going to remember to upload it. But it's a picture of a saint, and it's supposed to be Anthony. We don't know if it is, but it's got like this exasperated look, and the caption is "Seriously, you lost it again."
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Because that would be me as a saint. Like, go find it your damn self. Like, I've helped you.
Right.
Like, get organized.
Place it was the last time you left it.
Right. This is why I'm not a saint. Could you imagine me as your spirit guide?
Yeah. No.
Let's see. And somebody said they were having problems getting their palms to burn. Could that just be that they're just not dried enough yet to really?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And they're hard to burn. They're not easy to burn. That's for sure. When I see the deacons doing it down at the main Catholic offices in downtown Cleveland, they've got those things that you light candles with, the long things, the lighters, not the bit, but along with the long thing. And they're wearing gloves that are fireproof, and they're trying to burn it with these things. They're very hard to burn. They are hard to burn. And they stink when they're burned too, so you may want to do it in your garage or not windy day outside.
Amy says she's tried the St. Anthony thing and it's not working. So I'm wondering if maybe coming on Zoom and making sure, because you've talked about how like the one client of yours, her bracelets kept going missing until she finally put that little bit of glue there, and there was a ghost that was dropping her jewelry down heating vents,
Right, right.
which
So,
wasn't anybody that she knew or was related
no,
to.
no, it was just a ghost that thought she was funny. But
Hmm.
yeah, maybe you should come on Zoom and let's see if something's going on in the house.
So, which Zoom, for anybody who has not joined us before, here's the link. We do limit it to 25 people. It's $20. It is not recorded to put out. Nobody's going to know what's going on except for you and the other people that are on Zoom. Everybody gets to ask their questions, 2 questions, and we go until everybody is done. So we try to do new people first, repeats, at the end, because a lot of the repeats are people who were on before, got C's, and they just want to make sure everything's clear before they put up that last thing. But if you want to know if you have earthbound spirits, if you have a portal, or if you have a curse on you, you can come on to Zoom. Um, let's see, what else do we have coming up? So Zoom's is coming Monday.
The Merry-Go-Round Museum, this is pretty much the last call for that. I mean, we
Mhm.
need that. We need that to fill up if we're going to keep it on May 1st. So think about it. We changed the protocol. You don't have to worry about, having your COVID shot or whatever. It's whatever. And so come, it's that place is so much fun. You really should think about coming.
Right. It is fun. It's a neat little building. And some of those horses are really beautifully done and painted.
They're gorgeous. Four, five, $6,000 for these animals.
Though that
Unbelievable.
one swine, oh, that thing's evil looking.
Yeah,
Like,
they're not all pretty, but they're something though. I don't think that carousel is so huge. I don't think the one at Cedar Point's that big. That's a huge carousel, and it goes. You can ride it. It's fun.
it works. It is in Sandusky, Ohio, Amy. And the fun thing during the off season, Cedar Point, on their carousel, one of those horses is considered haunted. And during the off season, that particular piece, that horse, is stored and maintained in this museum. So they are in charge of making sure the paint is good, the finish is good, keeping it nice and pretty. So I
The
think we're seeing
owners, yeah, the owners and the craftsmen there, because they make new animals there too for carousels. So you
Mhm.
can go down and watch them whittle away on wood. It's amazing. But
Yes.
they all know the place is haunted, and the pictures the people got were amazing from that.
Yeah, and Sandy, yeah, I don't know if they still have them in the same exact spot when you come in and you walk around to the right, which on camera it looked like I left, but in real life
Right.
it's right. There's these 3 sea monsters, and they are so elaborate and really pretty. Um, like, ooh, I would write on that one.
Right. Very, very. It's amazing. And you got the run of the place.
Mhm.
They didn't restrict any place. I mean, the only place you couldn't go was up, but I think people live up there.
Yeah.
But it's amazing. There's no place you couldn't go. It's a really cool place.
It's a neat building, and there's plenty of parking around, and you're gonna be up by, like, the lake and everything, so if you wanted to come out, make
End
a
of the
week.
day, yeah.
Sandusky is a nice little town. I don't know if Cedar Point's open or not. I'm not a big amusement park fan, but I think we're
Now
still in
that
the
the kids
concept.
are, we don't go anymore. I don't know if Cedar Point's open yet or not.
Yeah, I don't think it really is.
I,
Um,
I don't know.
let's see. If somebody has seeds, should they keep that on when they're doing Zoom? Doesn't really matter
Does not make a difference at all.
because the ghost
You
can be.
don't have to not smudge. You don't have to smudge. Just come on, and it's and you, like I said, ask your 2 questions, and I usually ask you some questions then too, but
Mhm.
we try to move it along. And just keep this in mind. I'm just going to be talking to you about what's going on now. I'm sure stuff happened when you were 10 and 12 years old, but I couldn't tell you anything about that. So we don't even go there. We need to know what's going on now.
Right. And I'll also throw this in because I think it was the last time or the time before. Marianne is not a psychic medium, so don't come on wanting a reading about health, future events. That's not what can do for you doing the Zoom. So this is strictly, are there earthbound spirits in your house? Do you have a portal in your house? Do you have a curse on you? That's it.
That's it.
Um,
Oh, little folk. I could tell if that's in the house. So, you just, I think people come away with some good information. I really do. Everybody seems to come back and like it. So,
yeah, yeah. Um, but
and
yeah.
then again, the book club is the 17th of May. It's the
Mhm.
third Tuesday of each month, starting in May. So that's on. How are we doing on the seminary?
Seminary still has space for us, and let me find the right tab. I have so many tabs open. Kind of shameful. So we still have room in both times. We do have a 5 to 8 o'clock time slot, and then we have from 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. 5 to 8 is $40. 10 to 1 is $50. So it's not a mistake. You have two times to choose from.
And apparently, you can run amok in this place too.
Mm-hmm.
There's no place you can't go and bring your cameras or whatever you're bringing. I would say you're probably going up and down steps, so dress accordingly.
Yes. And that being said, not neither place is going to be handicap accessible for wheelchairs. They both have steps. These are old buildings. So, and that being said, I'm sure they're kind of like grandfathered in. That's why they haven't had ramp. Well, the Madison Seminary is not really open to the public except for private events like this. It's
They
not
don't
a
have to.
building.
No, they don't have to do anything then.
And the merry-go-round museum, which the owners give a little bit of a history, but it was a post office. It was a few things, so it's an old registered building. So there's not really ramps or anything like that. So keep that in mind. The stairs to going downstairs weren't overly steep or anything of the sort. So
Not at the Carousel Museum. They were pretty okay. Some places we've been, they've been horrible, but they've been okay there.
mhm. But it's a nice big fun building, merry-go-round museum.
The odd part is any building that's registered historical where they can't change anything, they're not allowed to put in ramps because it would
Yeah.
change the outside of the place.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
these are old buildings, both of them.
I can't remember. It's not marble, but it's one of those nice old, like white or like a limestone, light gray. There we go. Blah. Type of stone structure, and it's an actual round building. So it's really neat. Um,
Yeah, it is.
so yeah, spend the weekend in Sandusky before the crazies come in for.
Well, that's it. After the last one, we stopped to get a meal. The restaurants there, they've got great restaurants there. The food was really excellent. So,
A lot of cool little mom and pop things.
yeah, it's a nice place to visit.
Mm-hmm.
We got people in there last year from Renee that comes on here from Minnesota. She came out with her sister and brought ghosts with her from Minnesota. And there was a couple from New York. They showed up, brought their ghosts with them, took care of that. So we had people from all over that were there. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's either sandstone or granite. But it's a nice big.
I was shocked that building is the Carousel Museum building, as old as it is. I don't know why being round like that. I just didn't think that was even a popular shape to make buildings back in the day.
Mm.
I mean, how many round buildings do you see?
Well, I'm trying to remember what it was before the post office because it was something before the post office.
Right, which I don't know why it had to be round though, but I mean, it's like this was just meant to be for a carousel, perfectly round. It was like it was made for this.
Yeah, and I mean, and there's still so much walking room around that carousel, so it's not like they stuck it in there and you can't move.
No, there's plenty of room. It's and that's why we eased up basically with the COVID business too, is that the Carousel Museum and the seminary, they're big open spaces.
Mhm.
Nobody's crammed into a room, so that's
Yeah.
a plus. I don't just stop there. It's a plus.
Let's see. So we went over merry-go-round. We've got the seminary coming up in June. We talked about your YouTube later today. Are we
We're
missing
good.
anything? I think we are.
We're good.
Uh, oh, Sandy, because she was one of my helpers. She said it had something to do with people immigrating into the area.
Oh, thanks, Sandy. Okay.
Um,
Yeah, because I'm sure. Yeah,
yeah. But so yeah, if you can come join us. Otherwise, I think we covered all of our bases
we
today.
did. Everybody have a nice weekend with Easter. I hope the weather is good for us all. And we'll do this again next Wednesday.
Yes, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. All right, everybody. Well, thanks for coming.
Thank you.